I've become a little green-eyed monster because I feel like everybody had easy access to this new Patrick Ta palette except for me. There are like none in Florida. Nobody would sell this to me, so had to be a normal patron and order online. But it's here. Today I am reviewing the new Patrick Ta Major Holiday Face Palette. This is the third year in a row he has launched these, and the third face palette for the holidays that I will be trying. And I was very intrigued by this one for multiple reasons. The first one being I loved the first holiday palette that ever launched, and then really disliked and felt like my money was wasted on the second one. So let's see how this third one is. Also very intrigued because Patrick Ta has never done such a striking color packaging, and I'm here for it. It's just beautiful, hot, spicy. I love it. So you can order this at Sephora, and they most likely will have it at your Sephora, unless you live near me, apparently. This is $65. It's a limited edition palette, and I found that these truly have been limited edition in the past. So just keep that in mind. And this one, this year is different. The layout is different. We have kind of, you see, it's just not the three cheek colors that he normally has. We have like a little quad of glimmery shimmeries, and that's one thing I like. Glimmery shimmeries. Now there was a concern on a number of your guys' end that this just kind of cheapens it, this multi-purpose face aspect here. And these glitters are going to get into the powder blush, which I totally can see. But we're going to mess around with these. I also picked up both of the new colors of this new formula, the Make It Major multi-dimensional eye toppers. I wasn't going to pick these up, but I was like, since I'm ordering this, I might as well. I'm not going to be fully reviewing these today, but I will be doing swatch by swatch comparisons so we can see the difference between the two. Now looking at the details here, limited edition face palette that gives you sparkle, shimmer, and a festive glow. 'Tis the season, featuring 2 new blush shades and an eyeshadow quad. So these are both new blush duo shades, and I think probably one of his best selling formulas. So let's take a look. Here is the box that the palette comes in, and then here is the back. I don't know, in case you want to take a look at it. The packaging, honestly, I love this. My fingerprints are very quickly gonna get all over this. Here's the back, which has the names of the products. This has a 12-month shelf life. Made in the USA with globally sourced materials. Does it say that for the last 2 years? So volume 2 was just simply made in the USA, and then made in USA. I like to check previous years because this could potentially be that they sourced ingredients from a different place. Maybe they had it made in a different place, so the formulas might be different. So this one, with globally sourced materials, it did not say that in the first two, so I think maybe there might be something different in the formula. Let's see. So here's the palette itself. So you can see we have the 4 eyeshadows, and these are labeled as actual eyeshadows, and then the 2 blushes. If you don't know, these 2 are creams. And I love that he puts a cover over top, which is extra important now considering you don't want to get these glitters in here. But what about these? We don't want glitters on our face either. Let's swatch these. So we're going to start off with Giving I Need Her, which is a brightish kind of light pink. This almost looks quite sheer, the cream. I don't know how flattering this is going to be on me. So this is the cream blush, which literally looks sheer on me. And then that's the powder blush. And then this is Giving Main Character. And I have to say, it looks different in the photos than it does actually in person. I feel like it looks a little bit more purpley in person. A little bit more plummy, magenta. Not me throwing out every way to describe a color. That's how these are swatching. So you can see that the cream blushes clearly have a lot less pigment, and the powder is what is bringing the color here, which I can instantly tell you is a different formula than the original face palette that I loved so much that launched 2 years ago. The creams were less shiny and they had more pigment, and I loved that about that. And then last year's was kind of similar to this year's formula, where I just feel like these shimmers, while the glitters have been taken away, I can definitely see in this year's the formula is more flat. It still has that kind of sheerish formula that I don't care for. I still like the formula of the first one the best. So yeah, if you liked how the first version 2 years ago had more pigmented cream, you're still not going to get that with this one. It's going to give more of a glow to the cheek, but we'll take a look. Okay, and then let's take a look at these eyeshadows. Oh, they feel really smooth? I don't know. They definitely are looser, right? You're going to get some fallout from this. Let's see. Ooh, they're pretty though. Ooh. Excuse me. Oh. Oh, I like these. It's interesting to put these with just blushes. We'll play it around. We'll see. I'm going to pop this on my face, and then we'll compare it to the eye toppers. So let's start off with the blushes. Now, I know Patrick Ta is like powder first, cream after. I don't like that. Personally, I don't like it, but I don't feel as though these have a lot of color. So I'm going to use the BK Beauty 109, and we're going to start off with this cream blush first, and I'll put cream blush on after the powder as well. But I want to show you, if you just want this as a cream blush, I just dug in a second time. The color is very, very minimal. It is not pigmented really. So I can see why he would say powder goes down first. That's going to give you the flush. And then this is almost going to give you the glow on the cheek. If you're very, very fair though, this actually could be a really pretty cream blush on you. And looking at the behavior over my face makeup, which does have a little bit of powder, by the way. I have powder bronzer on and powder that set my under eyes. It didn't disrupt anything, so it's sitting pretty on the skin. It doesn't give like a sweaty or wet look. I did not like the way the creams in the last year's palette looked on my bare cheek. This one, it looks good. It just doesn't have a lot of color. So the blush now, I have to be extra careful because it's going to adhere to the cream that I have. So I'm going to go really light. This is actually a very powdery formula. Like, look at that. Okay. Let's pop it on. I wasn't sure it was going to be very flattering on me. But that's not bad. That's actually a very pretty pinky color. Ooh, I quite like that. Okay, that's a gorgeous color. And I'm telling you, I'm just going to prefer cream first, blush second. But because he does encourage his own brand to put cream over top, so what it's going to do is give more of a dewy, glowy look to the cheek, which is what is popular right now. But if you want to go matte, definitely finish with the powder especially. I think if you're oily, it's just better that way. But these are layering pretty nicely. Honestly, it looks good. It really does. I don't have the hatred for this that I had last year, so I feel like the formula is nice. Let's mess around with the next color. Let me clean off my brushes. This color made me nervous in the pan, but it's actually quite pretty. Okay, so let's do the cream blush first. I just want to see it on its own. Okay, I talked about the cream blushes not having a ton of pigment. The cream blush that is darker here definitely has more pigment. But it's still quite easy to work out. So while it's still not the same formula as 2 years ago, it's looking good. It's not disrupting anything underneath. And this color is actually quite pretty once blended out. Really pretty for the holidays. I wiped this brush off. Gonna go really light-handed. If you don't like pink, not your girl. You're not going to like this. You have to like pink blush. But I do like how both of them look very different. This has more of a cooler, like plummy vibe. It's definitely more vivid, whereas this one is a little bit more of a dainty kind of pink. I'm going to take my foundation sponge, tamper this down. But that's good because this might look good on deeper complexions. I don't know how the lighter one right here is going to look on deeper complexions. So if you have a deeper complexion and you've tried this color in particular, please let me know. What am I doing? We're just going to finish with a dab more, not too much, of this cream blush. Oh yeah, it definitely has some pigment. Honestly, the performance of this is better than last year's. I straight up did not like the performance of last year's. This one is looking good on the cheeks. Now keep in mind, I wouldn't wear my blush actually this vibrant. I just want to show you on camera so you can see how you can build the color up and it's just more visible on camera. But both look very different. Both are very nice. However, if you don't like pink, you're not going to like these. Now, let's play with what I'm truly the most curious about, the shimmers here. So I'm going to start off. I do have a little bit of bronzer in my crease, just so that I wasn't walking through my apartment looking like a crazy lady when I was getting ready this morning, knowing that I was going to film this later today. And I'm putting the lighter pink right over to give us a Barbie look. And then a little bit of this one. So these are definitely what you're going to have to use to match these colors if you don't want to dig into a separate palette. So these do make nice base shades for these shimmers. But for complete looks, if you want a little bit more dimension and variety, you can always dig into a different eyeshadow palette. Let's see. I'm not going to use any glitter glue. I'm just going to use my finger to apply these. I'm going to start off with this pink right here, which has more of a powdery eyeshadow feel. I'm going to tilt my head back. I'm going to apply this to the center of my eyelid. Now, glitter glue is going to absolutely minimize fallout, but I do want to test this on its own. Quite pretty, and I actually did not get any fallout yet. Oh, that's pretty. It's quite sheer. So if you want a base color underneath, definitely place the blush down before this, and then it will look like it's supposed to be more pigmented. But that's pretty. Now let's try the color below it, which is a little bit more frosty white. I feel like there is a little bit more base color to it. Very pretty, honestly, you guys. It's not giving Pat McGrath Blitz Astral or anything, but it does look quite high quality. Okay, let's try the other one. This one felt the most flaky to me. They're sticking to the eyelid really nice, and they have a really pretty scattered look all over the eyelid. I did get a couple sprinkles of glitter down here, but nothing crazy. I think they're adhering nice. And then let's see this kind of silvery one. It looks kind of similar to the one on this eye, just slightly more silver and metallic, whereas this is more of a softer white. Definitely has more reflect in there. Quite fun. I did get a little tiny bit of fallout of the glitter, but honestly nothing crazy, so I'm not mad at that. They're very, very pretty, and they are working pretty high quality as long as they don't fall off my eyes throughout the day. Let me put on some lashes. Eyelash glue is still drying, but I did want to show you some comparisons of the blushes in the previous palettes, just so you can see. So let me start off with the one that came out 2 years ago. I will say in pan, they all look quite different to me. This one is from this year, this one's from 2 years ago. Like maybe these two, right, look kind of similar. But the cream blushes perform very, very differently from one another. But I do think on the cheeks, the powder blushes will look the same, because, you know, how different can they look? Especially with blushes, how many varieties of pink can there be? I don't have much from his individual line, that's why I didn't pull many, or any. And here's last year's atrocious palette. Mine looks disgusting. But again, I feel like the pinks are just pretty different. I don't think these are too alike. That being said, there's so many pinks in the Patrick Ta line. If you're trying to save money, I will say you probably don't need this palette. It's pink blush central out here, and I'm sure you've probably got convinced to buy a lot of other pink blushes that have been quite popular, but if you're not sick of the pink blush, me, I'm always welcoming more pink blushes. I also quickly did want to do a comparison of these new eye toppers. So these are the Make It Major multi-dimensional glitter eye toppers. They are $28 each for a single little glitter. So these are a multi-dimensional eye topper to add glitter and shine to any look. And I just thought it was really interesting that he chose to launch these so closely to a palette that has glitter pressed eyeshadows in there. I don't know. It's like, if you buy the palette, it's pretty unappealing to want to purchase the singular eye glitters, I think. But I did purchase both to show you the differences. So this is the box that they're gonna come in case you wanted to take a look. And there's 2 shades. It's giving rich and it's giving luxury. The packaging is really nice. It has this little window here so you can see the glitter, right? And then you have a stopper so it won't get too messy. I find it hard to open with my fingers though. It's easier to open with a tweezer. But when I poured this into the cap, you can see it's a lot chunkier. The glitters are much bigger, and I'll show you the swatches. And then here is It's Giving Luxury. These, by the way, do have a 12-month shelf life and are made in the USA with globally sourced materials. So down here, these last 2 swatches are the glitter eye toppers, and you can see they are very, very different than the glitter eyeshadows in the palette. These are thicker, they have less of a base, they're more so true glitters. Now they're not like thick, chunky, gonna cut your cornea kind of glitters. They're very, very soft, very fine feeling. But yeah, it's a complete different type of glitter. It's going to be a little messier. You will probably benefit from having a glitter glue. For me personally, I much prefer the formula of the glitter eyeshadows in the palette. I just like the mess-free option. I think it's a little easier, but if you're going to a concert or you just want more glitz and glam, this will give it to you because it's more dimensional. The way that the different shapes of glitters are going to catch the light is going to add a little extra oomph to the eye look. So it does give a slightly different effect, but I'm lazy, so I would stick with these. So me personally, I would have been happy just picking up the palette and not the eye glitters. That being said, I have not put these on my eye yet, so I'm definitely going to report back in an upcoming speed reviews so that we can see how they look. Well, let's do it for the science. I'm using some of It's Giving Luxury. Just looks so chunky. See? Chunk. Oh, fallout already, but you can see it already is reflecting a little bit more, but it is more flaky. It gives a definite more textured look to the eyelid. I don't think these are worth $28. They're neat. If you're gonna use them, like I can definitely see myself using this for events and whatnot, but I'm more focused on this right now. Overall, you guys, I am vibing with this year's palette. I would say it's my second favorite of the 3 that have launched. Obviously, last year's was my least favorite. This is definitely better than last year's. I really do like the glitter eyeshadows. I don't know, maybe it would have made more sense had he like made this a separate quad because the glitters are gonna get everywhere, but I'm not too bothered. I'm just thinking of the comments that a lot of you felt, and I feel like a lot of you would like it if this was kind of an on its own item and we had a 3rd blush instead. But quality-wise, I'm very, very happy with the blushes. They look different, they applied good, they didn't break up anything underneath, so if you're on the market for more pink, then I think you'll like these. And if you like a little glimmery, shimmery, these are a very nice formula with minimal fallout, and they are going to give you that extra gleam on the eyelid. It is a really refined, pretty glow, so I'm enjoying them. As far as the eye glitters go, I did not give them a full chance, so I do want you to take that into consideration, but like especially after using this palette, I'm not into them. I think they're fine. I'm going to use them more, but I'm just more excited about the formula in here. This is my preference when it comes to pressed glitter eyeshadows. But if you do love them, let me know. I'd love to hear that. So let me know your thoughts on this palette. Are you going to be picking it up? I'm just here to tell you that the quality is good. What you do with that is up to you. But I'm very happy that I picked it up. And with this being a limited edition launch, I don't regret it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel for more. As always, every product that I talk about in today's video will eventually be featured in an upcoming speed reviews, or probably I have a lot of video ideas that this will be talked about. It's going to be a hot topic on this channel, I can tell you now. But anyways, I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one.